When you see these people who did vote leave, so maligned and derided by those who wanted to remain, just give us a snapshot from your point of view of who these people are and what their economic prospects have been like prior to and now after the Brexit referendum.
I think Brexit was the most strongly class-correlated vote in recent decades. So now the class basis of the two main political parties is almost totally broken down.
Right.
Traditionally, Labour was the party of the working class and the Tories the party of the propertied. And now that correlation has almost totally evaporated. And
was that the property-owning democracy that came in? Was that a sort of moment where everybody then became this sort of amorphous middle class, as Tony Blair?
Well, I don't think that they did actually become middle class, but I think, as Lisa says, the Labour Party shifted rightwards and triangulated towards the middle class. And what essentially happened was the working classes were, to a large extent, left behind. They were
left out.
Yes, certainly left out. I mean, they feel, I think, largely unrepresented by the political class. They feel our political class has become homogenous, identikit political parties with no real differences between them, and working class interests are no longer being represented in the political system. And that's shown in all kinds of polls. It's shown in the very low turnout for working class communities. And Brexit was different in that people who had abandoned voting for a long time, or maybe had never voted for the first time because they saw a unique opportunity to make change in their lives. This promised a rupture in the system and an attempt to discipline the political class and make it listen to them and represent their interests in politics once more.
That rupture and that action, has it made the political class sit up and listen?
I think it has forced them to listen to the people when they hadn't for a long time. So, the last general election, both Labour and the Conservatives ran on a platform of implementing Brexit. However, because of the hung parliament, we now have many people trying to overturn the referendum result. So there are certain factions in parliament that still refuse to accept the will of the people, the will of the majority of the people.
What does that say about our political class?
It says that the politics of representative government have broken down, and really Brexit is the kind of end point of this long-term crisis. The withdrawal of both parties from their traditional bases and their move into inter-elite policy networking at the EU level. So they retreat from the accountability to their own voters. They're more accountable to other governments at the European level, where they lock in neoliberal policies. And they did that for a long time. And that is a real crisis in which right-wing populism can fill that void and can flourish as we see across the continent. So I see Brexit as a possibility of saying to the political establishment, you have actually to be accountable back to the voters again. There's an opportunity here to restore representative government and avert the crisis that populism injects into European politics.